girl, Z, from transvoicelessons.com, and in this video we're going to talk about 3 really exciting ways to practice your resonance. So, let's get started. The first method that I want to talk about is using noise to help you practice your resonance. This is something that I figured out and realized very early on in my vocal development, and it was very instrumental to me ending up with the voice that I have today. So I'm going to put a link to this sound. I'm going to play it down in the description. So here's what you do. You take noise, you play it on your phone, then you make a vowel, ah, and hold your breath. Then you're going to put the phone up to your mouth like so. Ah. Ah. Now, at this point, you can start to practice all sorts of different resonance changes, like so. This can allow us to hear R1 and R2 very accurately. Movements of R1 sound like this. Movements that are dominated by R2 will sound more like this. And now I'm going to bring R1 back in. So you can see how it only showed one line at first, right? And then I opened my throat back up and we were allowed to hear the R1. And so that's that bottom line. This method is really awesome because it lets you practice without making any sound of your own, and that's very valuable because it allows you to feel the movements of resonance a lot better. When you're making your own sound, you actually use a lot of other motions that make it really hard to feel resonance. That's one of the reasons why people have trouble controlling their resonance, because even if they do the movement or the motion, they won't necessarily notice the muscles that they're utilizing to make that happen. So this is an awesome way to get some of the sensations of voice out of the way and just focus on, can you move the vocal tract around to cause the resonance to shift that noise? Now, if I worked with students in real life constantly, I would use this method a lot more. It's very awkward to use with people over the internet simply because a lot of the noise algorithms that are built into Discord or Skype or Zoom often remove noise. For a basic approach of feminization, you would primarily want this kind of motion. And you want to make that extremely comfortable. Whatever you do, don't allow yourself to get uncomfortable while practicing resonance. There's no point. We can get the right sound with the right comfort at the same time, and that's what our goal is. Resonance is basically a volume modifier. So if we put a bunch of sound into our vocal tract, we'll be able to hear where the sound gets modified, and that lets us hear the resonance and see the resonance really accurately. Weird resonance trick number 2. You can take a bottle cap and practice your resonance like so. Basically what happens is you're turning your vocal tract into a drum, and every time you hit this, you're putting energy into the vocal tract, which allows you to hear the resonances responding back. To do this successfully, you're going to take the top part of the bottle cap and you're going to face it inwards. I'm going to lightly hold it and tap it just to make sure I don't drop it. Then I'm going to put it up next to my lips and in my mouth. I'm going to hold my breath as well. That's very important. And then I'm going to tap it and start to move my vocal tract around. That is literally what feminizing your resonance sounds like. Ah, part, purr. You can also practice different vowel motions like this, like So that's me scaling up and down on the vowel. Now I'll scale up and down on the vowel. Now I'll scale up on the A vowel. The only vowel that you can't really hear very well with this technique is the E vowel. And that's because your tongue blocks the sound from entering your vocal tract, so you don't get to hear R1 at all during this technique. So I'll go ahead and show you that. See how R1 there got like deleted because we weren't able to get any sound back into the vocal tract in order to hear R1 showing itself. So this is a really fun approach. Have fun with it. Make sure you don't like push the bottle cap into your mouth. I had a student accidentally almost like choke. So make sure that it's well secured. Make sure you're not compromising, anything. You're not swallowing any bottle caps or anything like that. But otherwise, have fun with this. Resonance trick number 3. Now, I demonstrated this one a year ago in a video, and I literally got dozens and dozens of comments of people trying it and not understanding how to do it. I didn't really intend for anybody to try and do this when I made that video, but I'll go ahead and teach you all how to do it now. Basically, what you do is you hold your breath and then tap your neck. It's just like the bottle cap method, but only this time I'm putting energy in the bottom of the vocal tract instead of tapping energy through the front of the vocal tract. And so I can do different resonance modifications like this. One thing I like to do is play melodies. So there is Mary Had a Little Lamb and Happy Birthday with my vocal tract. In terms of where I actually strike, it doesn't matter that much, but try to get where your jaw meets your neck on the bottom side. A lot of people like tap or flick down here. We don't really need to go down there. There's nothing there to help us. And additionally, you don't have to flick that hard. Like if I flick my hand as hard as I was flicking that, it's not that hard. It's just enough to make a little bit of sound, but since my vocal tract is so open, the bottom of the vocal tract is closed, the back of the vocal tract is closed, it creates this large drum-like structure that allows us to hear the resonance. So there are 3 really fun tricks that you can use to practice resonance. You can see that all 3 of these take advantage of the same thing. We hold our breath, which closes off the nose, and it closes off the vocal folds. And when that happens, we're just left with this single container that allows us to hear the resonant frequencies of it very well. It's no different than taking a bottle and tapping a plastic bottle and hearing the pitch that that creates. That is the resonance of that bottle, and we can use the same kind of approaches to tap our vocal tract, whether that's from the front or the bottom or putting noise into it, and it allows us to hear the response of the resonances speaking back to us. Now, I wouldn't consider these to be like the primary ways to understand modifying your resonance. We definitely want you to train resonance with your voice, with voicelessness, and you can use these as accessory techniques to have fun exploring and trying out new things, especially if you've hit a ceiling or barrier. Out of all 3 of these, I would say the most useful is the first one where we talked about using noise to hear the vocal tract. I think that that is just an absolutely fantastic method, and it is one of my favorite things that I keep in my pocket when I'm teaching. So have fun with all these, and if you have any questions, just reach out. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please just post down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful or interesting. If you would like to support the work I'm doing on this channel, please just check out the link down below to my Patreon. If you'd like to check out my music, just check out the link down below to my Bandcamp. And otherwise, thank you all so much, and I will see you again next time. Bye!